Hello students, let us start our discussion about system of particles and rotational motion. The new chapter number 7. Now, for discussing about this chapter, let us know what have should study under this chapter. So first topic is rigid body. What is rigid body? And then we have discussed different types of motion of rigid body. That is, what is translational motion, and then we discuss about rotational motion, and then combination of translational and rotation, that is revolution. We have also discussed the revolutional motion, and after that we also categorize the translational motion as pure translational motion and impure translational motion, pure rotational motion and impure rotational motion, and pure revolutional motion and impure revolutional motion. Then after that we have discussed the linear momentum possessed by the body and then angular momentum possessed by the body. It means we should study about momentum. Under momentum we should study both the linear and angular. Then after that we should study about the inertia possessed by the object and also moment of inertia of the moving object. Moment of inertia. And before discussing that, we have also study about the torque affecting on the object. Torque. So after that we should discuss a small little bit of kinetic energy and potential energy possessed by the moving object. So that is the final topic of this chapter, that is kinetic energy and potential energy possessed by a motional object. Okay, so all this topic is discussed under this chapter. So let us start our first topic, that is rigid body. So what is a rigid body? As we know that if the particles of any substance is fixed with respect to one another, it means the position of the particle is not changes with respect to its neighborhood particle. Okay, so we can say that such body is assumed as rigid body, but in actual there is no body is assumed as perfect rigid body, but particular level of percentage, if you talk about this body is assumed as 10% as a rigid body, 20% as a rigid body, and 70% as a rigid body. So if we talk about some solid objects like iron, nickel, aluminum, so we can consider all such type of body like a rigid body. Okay. Now, as we know that every object, every body is made up with the help of different small particles. So if we move such type of any object with respect to time, it means the object changes its position with respect to time, then we can say that all the constituential particle by which the object is made is in motion. But if the velocity attained by each particle is same with respect to time, then we can say that the body is in pure translational motion. It means, suppose that if we talk about any object which is placed on any inclined surface and this surface is considered as a frictionless surface, and this bottom face of this body is also considered as frictionless. Then if we place any body on this inclined plane, then body will start its motion in downward direction. So at every instant of time, the velocity attained by each particle is always same. So we can say that such type of motion possessed by the object is known as translational motion. And since the velocity possessed by each particle is same, so such translational motion is known as pure translational motion. But if you talk about ball which is throwing by yourself, suppose that you can throw a ball in this direction and ball is in motion, but ball is during motion also spins about its own axis. Suppose that this is the axis about which ball is rotating. So we can say that for differentiating in the position of the ball, let us talk about this is a bottle. Okay, so if we throw this bottle any direction, then after some time, if after reaching at this point, if the bottle attains this shape, okay, and at this point if the bottle attains this position, so we can say that every constituent particle of this bottle is not possess the same velocity. It means the velocity possessed by each particle is different at any instant of time. So such type of motion possessed by object is not said as pure translational motion, but as the center of mass of this object is, what is center of mass? We have discussed a little bit after this. Now, when center of mass of this ball is moving from one position to another position, then the body is said to be in translational motion. But as the velocity possessed by each constituential particle is not same at an instant of time, so we can say that the motion is non-pure or impure translational motion. Okay, now let us talk about rotational motion. So if we assume about any object which is fixed at any position, and suppose that this is an object which is made up of with the help of different particles, one is mass m1, other is mass m2, and if we want to rotate this object about this axis, okay, so as we want to rotate this object about this axis, then all the constituential particle which forms this object will starts revolution around this rotating axis, and we can find out that the velocity, linear velocity possessed by each particle is different, but the center of mass of the body, if the center of mass of the body is present and the axis of the revolution, then we can say that the total center of mass of the body is not moving with respect to time. It means it not changes its position with respect to time. So such type of motion possessed by such type of object is known as rotational motion. And in general, the total motion possessed by the object is considered as the rotational motion. But if we talk about the motion possessed by the constituential particle, suppose that about this particle, so this particle will revolve around this circular track, and the radius of the circular track is taking as r1. So we can say that such type of particle perform a revolutional motion. Okay, so all the constituential particle of this object perform a revolutional motion, while in general the total body possess rotational motion about its own axis. And if the center of mass of the body is lie on the axis of rotation, then the rotational motion is pure rotational motion. But if we assume that the total center of mass of the object is considered at this point, then this one is also revolving around this axis. It means the center of mass of the object is also changes its position with respect to time, so the object is also considered as in translational motion. But the center of mass of the object is moving around a particular track, that is known as a revolutional motion. Okay, so this is a general categorization of the translational motion, rotational motion and revolutional motion. Okay, now one term is I have repeated many times, that is known as center of mass. So let us discuss first what is center of mass, then we have discussed momentum, and then moment of inertia, torque and kinetic energy. So let us start our discussion about center of mass. What is center of mass? To understand the center of mass in simplicity, let us consider this is xy coordinate and we have two particles of mass m1 which is placed at displacement of x1 on x-axis, and other is m2 which is displaces at any position of x2 on x-axis. Then if you consider this one is as point O and this one is point A and this one is point B, then if you want to know about the center of mass of the system of these two particles, one has mass m1 and other has mass m2. So suppose that the center of mass of both object is placed at any point along the line joining of both object, and this is also lie on x-axis. So if this is the center of mass and the position of this is defined as the point C, then if the position of this point C is measured in terms of x, that is it is equal to x, so what will be the value of this x? This can be defined as m1 into x1 plus m2 into x2 divided by m1 plus m2. Okay, so this comes out from the concept of moment. So moment of this particle plus moment of this particle is always equal to the moment of both particle with respect to this point. It means m1 plus m2 whole of x is equal to m1 x1 plus m2 x2. So this is a particular concept which provides us the concept of the center of mass. Now if we take both object and it is assumed that the mass of both object is same. Okay, so the value of this x will be just sum of the x1 plus x2 by 2. Now if we talk about another system in which these two particles are placed in xy plane somewhere, and the coordinate of these two particles is x1 y1 and x2 y2. So if the mass of this object is m1 and mass of this object is m2, then what will be the center of mass of these two objects? So if the center of mass lie on the line joining between these two mass objects, so if this point is considered as C, this one is A and this one is B, then what will be the coordinate of this C? The coordinate of C will be x comma y. So if you want to calculate the value of this x and y, then we can easily calculate, and from here we get that this is the x1 and this one is the y1. Now if we point out on x-axis, then the coordinate of point mass B is x2 y2, so this displacement will be x2 and this displacement will also be equal to y2. So if we point out the x and y on this xy axis, then this displacement is considered as y and this one is considered as x. So if we find out the value of x and y in terms of the masses of both object, so x can be expressed as just as m1 x1 plus m2 x2 by m1 plus m2, and y is equal to the coordinate of this center of mass in y axis is equal to m1 y1 plus m2 y2 by m1 plus m2. Okay, and again if we consider the case m1 equal to m2, that is equal to m, then if we place this m1 equal to also m and m2 is equal to also m, and this is 2m, m plus m, so m can be taken as outside and this will be cancelled, and this becomes as x1 plus x2 by 2, and this also becomes y1 plus y2 by 2 when m1 equal to m2. So this is a particular method by which we can easily find out what will be the center of mass of the two mass object system. Similarly, if we consider about more than two mass object, then with the help of this method we can easily find out what will be the center of mass of the particle system. Suppose that we have more than two particles, and for general we can consider that we have 3 or 4 or in general n particles. So if the position coordinate of first particle is x1 comma y1, position coordinate of the second particle of mass m2 is x2 comma y2, it means the mass m1 particle contains its position at x1 y1, mass object m2 contains its position at x2 comma y2, mass object m3 contains its position x3 comma y3, mass object m4 contains its position x4 at y4, and so on. If nth mass object contains its position coordinate as xn comma yn, then if we want to find out the center of mass of these mass object, so center of mass of this object is defined by x and y. So x can be expressed as m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 plus m4 x4 plus and so on plus mn xn whole divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus m4 plus and so on mn. Okay, this can be written as in I equal to 1 to n m I x I divided by sigma I equal to 1 to n m I. Similarly, if we want to find out the position value of the center of mass of on y-axis, then y can be equal to m1 y1 plus m2 y2 plus and so on plus mn yn by m1 plus m2 plus and so on plus mn. So this can further expressed as sigma I equal to 1 to n m I x y I divided by sigma I equal to 1 to n m I. Okay, and this can also be expressed further as in integration form. So this will be equal to x dot dm and divided by integration dm. Similarly, this also can be expressed as y dot dm divided by integration dm. Okay, so this is a particular basic concept of the center of mass. We can solve different types of numerical problems based on the center of mass. There are few basic numerical problems given as in the form of example in your textbook. Solve those problems and understand the basic concept of center of mass, then we will start our next topic tomorrow. Okay, till now take care. Thank you.